So, if you want to learn how to make money with artificial intelligence and build a successful AI automation agency, then this video is for you. I'm going to provide you with a complete roadmap that I would follow if I had to start my agency all over again, if I was a beginner. I've broken it down into 7 simple steps that if you follow, you should be able to hit your first 10K a month, 100K a month, quit your draining 9-to-5 job or drop out of college, just like I did back in 2018, and start making life-changing money. I guarantee this will work if, only if, you follow the steps and put the work in. It's not gonna be easy, but I say that because I did it, and I had no experience in business, software, automation, or AI when I started, and in less than 9 months, I was making so much money, I literally bought everything I'd always wanted as a kid. $5,000 gaming computer, massive gaming monitors, LED keyboards, and my dream car at the time, which is a BMW M4. That was in 9 months. Since then, my business has generated over 8 million in revenue and made me multiple millions in profit in the last 6 years. And that was without any personal brand, by the way. The reason why I'm making this is because I wanna help you. I wanna share the knowledge and wisdom I've accumulated by building my business over the past 6 years. Because when I was getting started, I bounced all over YouTube, maybe like a lot of you are, pulling from different people's content, telling me what I should do. And it created a ton of anxiety, and I ended up wasting a lot of time not taking action because I never had confidence in knowing what I should actually focus on, who to listen to, and what next steps to take when it came to actually taking action. So that's why I put together this roadmap broken down into 7 simple steps so you can avoid the trial and error that I went through as a beginner and start making money as soon as possible. At the end of this video, I'll provide you with a resource completely free where you can get examples of me closing clients worth $10,000, me collecting it all in full, building automations and AI, and a whole lot more. So make sure you stay until the end for that. But most importantly, stay so you have direction on how to actually make money with AI so you can actually change the trajectory of your life. Before we dive into the 7 steps that I would take if I was starting as a beginner to making a very profitable AI business, it's important to lay the groundwork for what is going on in the world right now. AI is expected to grow by over 20x by the year 2030, which is nearly $2 trillion. And that's only 5 years away, which makes this one of the best opportunities right now because it's still really early. With that being said though, you need to decide if you're gonna take advantage of this and be rewarded, or if you're gonna sit on the sidelines, ignore it, and watch countless others go from zero experience, zero knowledge, to making hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars in the next couple of years. So with that being said, the choice is yours. Let's dive into the first thing that you need to do. Okay, so before I show you guys the 7 steps that you're gonna need to take to start making your first $10,000 a month, $100,000 a month, actually making money online with AI is proof, okay? I'm over here in my payment processor, and what this shows you is exactly how much I've done just the last month and so far this year selling AI automation services. So you can see here, just last month did $230,000, and so far this year, 294. And if I just go to last year, we switched payment processors here in April from Stripe to Sense with deposit. And you can see last year alone did 1.8 million. So one thing that's very important, obviously, which is gonna take us into the first thing, is getting information from the right people. So let's go ahead and dive in. Here is the first step that we are going to want to look at taking to really have success. So the first thing that I would really recommend doing is getting a mentor. Let me tell you a quick story. So when I first got started, it took me about, I purchased a course from Iman Gadzhi, believe it or not, back in 2018 in October. I literally took $1,000 that my grandpa gave me. It was the only money I had, and purchased this course. I didn't learn anything other than that I had no idea what to do, but I had the belief that I could have success. But what ended up happening was I ended up spending a ton of time trying to figure out what I should do because the course did not really help me. It was exciting and cool, you know, to buy something and get that dopamine hit at the time, but it was not beneficial, unfortunately. And so what it left me to do was just consume a bunch of content all over the internet. And I really didn't have a lot of direction on who I should be consuming content from because I was just trying to consume everyone's content. And it just really left me in that state of paralysis analysis. And so what I would strongly encourage you do is find somebody, most importantly, find somebody who is doing exactly what you're trying to do. Not somebody that's making the money you want to make, but let's say you're trying to build a very successful gym, right? Don't get guidance from somebody that is a successful dentist, right? Get guidance from someone who operates gyms at a very high level and has made a ton of money with gyms. You need to find somebody who's done exactly what you're trying to do. So that is truly the key with this, is you want to find somebody that has done as close to as possible what you're trying to do. So what I ended up doing was I found this guy about 6 months into my journey after I'd signed up 3 clients and found out I didn't know what I was doing. And he had built a very successful agency working with gyms, which is exactly what I've done. And he had actually sold that agency. And so I ended up hiring him. I literally took all the money that I had made from my first 3 clients, and I paid him. It was almost $10,000 that I paid him. But what that allowed me to do there in the next 9 months was build a business that did over $70,000 a month with extremely high profit margins. And I had no experience prior to that to growing that business. So it's very important that if you're looking to attempt to make money online with AI, with an agency, that you have an example, ideally someone that can give you one-on-one support, custom support, to try and help you get where you're trying to get. If you don't have the money, right, and that's not an option for you, it really wasn't much of an option for me. I literally took the only money I had, I spent it, and that didn't really help me out. And then I ended up figuring it out after 6 months and paid someone a lot of money with the money that I was getting. So if you don't have the money, find somebody that's done exactly what you're trying to do and consume their content if they make it. One thing that I've noticed is that a lot of people, unfortunately, that do make content, that have successful businesses teaching people how to do things, a lot of them haven't done it in a while. It's been a long time, right? Like they've been out of the game for years, or they just didn't really have that much success. They had a little bit of success, but they built a brand where they were getting views, and because of that, they have a lot of authority. But just keep in mind that if you're truly trying to make this work, find somebody that has accomplished exactly what you're trying to accomplish recently. Okay? And ideally, if you could find somebody that is already out of it, like I did, that's not actively doing it, right? You're gonna be able to really get their uncut version of what you should do, which is what you want. You want somebody that is just willing to give it all away. And so that's what I would strongly recommend, because it will definitely lead you to a successful agency. I literally spent 6 months trying to figure stuff out on my own. And it was a lot of time wasted, literally just watching YouTube videos, not really sure what to do, not really taking action. So I really want to harp on this because it's super important, because you've got to think again, I got advice from somebody who is extremely successful, but not extremely successful doing what I'm trying to do. And because of that, I spent $1,000 and didn't really make much progress. But what it gave me was the belief that people were having success running an agency. And so at least I had that belief in knowing that, hey, other people are doing it. They're no different than me. I'm gonna stick it out. It's just a matter of time. I'm gonna figure it out. And that was the mentality that I had. That's the mentality that I encourage you to have as well. But just bypass it all and go straight through it and get a mentor that's already done it. Exactly what you're trying to do. So that's number one. Very important that you do that. Number two, pick a niche where people are already having success and there is massive opportunity for scale. Okay, so the reason why I put these ones here is because I personally know people that have multi-7-figure agencies in all of these niches. Okay, gyms. So when I say gyms, that's literally a niche within the fitness niche. Martial arts studios, those are all 3 niches within the fitness niche. But I know people who have agencies that only work with martial arts. I know agencies that only work with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and they do over 7 figures. Obviously, I know agencies that only work with gyms. I know agencies that only work with studios, so like F45, Orange Theory, Hotworks, Fit Body Bootcamp, those types of gyms, right? Studios, yoga studios, lawyers, HVAC, solar, chiro, med spa. So the reason why this is important, a lot of people have this conversation about should you do a niche, should you not? Yes, you should do a niche. The reason why is because it creates massive opportunity for scale, okay? So what that means is you can potentially scale a lot quicker than you would be able to otherwise because there's massive opportunity within the customers that you're working with. Let me give you an example. I work with a ton of Anytime Fitnesses. There are over 4,000 Anytime Fitnesses on the planet. It's actually the largest gym franchise on the planet, and they just merged with Orange Theory, which is one of the largest studio franchises on the planet. When I got into this, for some reason, I just had this belief that I couldn't work with franchises. I have no idea why I had this belief, but I did. And what I came to realize was there was a guy crushing it with a ton of Anytime Fitnesses. And I said, well, if he's doing it, I can't tie it. And so what I did is I went after a bunch of Anytime Fitnesses, and what it allowed me to do, this is literally the story of how I went from zero to over $70,000 a month in 9 months. It allowed me to literally grow without doing any marketing, any cold outreach, any advertising at all, except for initially. So what I ended up doing, the way this happened was I sent out an email campaign to a bunch of Anytime Fitnesses, showing them the results I got with the first couple clients, those 3 clients I signed up, that I took the money they gave me to pay a mentor to teach me how to do what he had done. And I sent this email to a bunch of Anytime Fitnesses, and I ended up signing up like 4 Anytime Fitnesses. And one of these Anytime Fitness owners had a business partner that owned 12 Anytime Fitnesses. Not only did he own 12 Anytime Fitnesses, but he was on the board for it was called the Franchise Business Advisory Board. And so what he was a voted in representative from the franchisees, and they pretty much went to him for any advice or any help that they might need. And so when I signed up this girl that was partners with this guy, she ended up telling me, hey, by the way, if you get me great results, I'll connect you with this guy. And if you get him great results, he's gonna help you work with a ton of people. And so that immediately was a light bulb in my head. And I thought, wow, I have the opportunity of a lifetime. And I did. And so what I ended up doing was getting her amazing results. She connected me with him, got him great results. He gave us, I think, four gyms at the time. It was in the middle of the summer where gyms are typically slow. And we were able to get him a ton of great results through automation services, remarketing the old leads, bringing them back through the door. And because of that, he ended up literally firing off an email after that first month to like 10 of his, the other people on the Franchise Business Advisory Board, almost all of the other people on the board, and then a bunch of other friends of his that owned Anytime Fitnesses. And I think I ended up signing up like 7 out of the 10. And not only that, he was going around telling tons of Anytime Fitness owners about me and connecting me with them. And literally from, I think it was June of 2019 to December, he even had us come out to an event where I spoke on stage at this Anytime Fitness event, literally doing a mass sale to people. I think I ended up signing up over 40 people in December. But in between June and December, we had over 200 clients. I was working with over 200 active gyms, and I did not do a single cold email, cold DM, cold call. I didn't run a single ad. All I did was send that initial email blast to Anytime Fitnesses, and I had so much business because we were able to get them great results, and I had so many people coming to me and just doing sales calls, which were very easy sales. These were lay down opportunities. I wasn't having to pull teeth like I did with the first couple sales that I made, and like you will probably have to, because I went into a niche where people were already having success. So I would be very careful about this idea of don't do a niche, do a bunch of stuff, be a generalist with the people that you work with. You can work with a bunch of different people, but if you do that, you're gonna have to figure out the nuance to getting them results in those different niches. And sometimes there's not any nuance when it comes to the service that you're providing, but to really make big money, you need to get people big results, okay? And to get people big results, you have to be very good at delivering those results and making sure that it's fit perfectly to their situation. And if you nail it for them, it's very easy to scale it for a bunch of other ones. So do not get confused. You should niche down, and more important, you should do it in one of these niches. There are some other ones out there, but these are the ones that I personally know other agency owners that are killing it in this space with AI and automation services. Okay, so this is very important that you go here because it's proven to work. And there's tons of opportunity, right? I compete with Gym Launch, Alex Ramosi. I sign up people that actively work with Gym Launch all the time. Why? Because we offer an incredibly good service and I'm very good at selling them. So that's why. But you might come into this thinking, man, you know, he's got an agency working with gyms, Gym Launch has an agency working with gyms. And mind you, there's like a dozen other agencies that are crushing it working with gyms. You know, why would I do that? There's way too much competition. Well, the reality is this market is very hungry for services like this because they need it. They need a ton of help and there's enough to go around. So make sure that you pick one of these niches because again, it is gonna result in a successful AI automation agency. There's no question about it. It's just a matter of putting the work in. Number 3, what you need to do is decide on which AI automation service you're gonna provide first, okay? So keyword here being first, because the most important thing that you need to know is a lot of these local businesses, they've worked with a lot of companies, a lot of automation companies, a lot of marketing agencies, and they've had awful experiences, okay? The reason why I say that is because if you do not get them a good result really quick, they are going to cancel with you and they are not going to be very nice to you. So you need to decide which one you're going to provide first. And these are 4 AI services that I have sold that we actively provide for hundreds of gyms and studios actively right now. The one that I would recommend doing first, and you can be a complete beginner to do all of these, but the one that I would truly recommend doing first is going to be this one right here, the very first one, AI reviews and referrals. The reason why is because it is so easy to fulfill and it gets people an incredible result. It just does. So if you go look up nail salons, hair salons, med spas, gyms, all of these service-based local businesses, and you look at their Google reviews, what you're gonna find most likely is that they're not getting them very frequently. Okay, and because of that, they don't rank as high as they would organically on Google. If they're running ads or doing marketing, people are gonna look them up on Google and look to see what the reviews look like. And if they're not good and they're not getting them frequently, it's gonna impact the results they're getting. So what you need to do is just offer this as a service and then take it a step further that after you get a review, you have the AI follow up and an automation fire to ask for a referral, okay? Because there are people that offer this service, you know, it's called reputation management, but they don't take it the step further and ask for a referral, okay? And so what we do different is we leverage a proven offer when we get the review. So instead of just saying, hey, we'd like to, if you're happy, give us a review, we say, hey, if you want a chance to win a membership for free for the year, leave us a review. What does that do? It gets double the amount of people to leave reviews. Now from there, after they leave a review, the AI responds to them on Google. And then in addition to that, the text, the automation fires and reaches back out to that person and says, thank you for the review and the kind words. By the way, we've got a couple free passes for Friends and Family. Why don't you share this link with them? And anyone that comes from them will put your name into that raffle to win a free membership for the year for free again. That we'll be drawing at the end of the quarter. So by doing that, we literally generate that customer free leads. And then we also have a script that we teach them to call these people that leave reviews to follow up with them to get referrals. Okay, so this is not a service that you can charge a ton of money for. I've got hundreds of people that are paying me for it, anywhere from $250 to $500 a month. I haven't tried to charge more than $500 a month, but that's how I do it. And a little side note here, a little tip. The way I do this is I sign them up on a 12-month contract where if they don't want to continue after the first month, they don't have to. Okay, so I say, first month, if you don't want to continue, you do not have to, but this is a 12-month program, okay? And if you do not cancel after the initial 30 days, it will roll into that 12-month contract. So I have a ton of people on 12-month contracts where they're paying me anywhere from $250 to $500 a month, and it's pretty much set it and forget it. Super effective service, but what this ends up doing is a couple different things. And I'll get into that here in a second for some of these other steps, but it's really important that the service you provide is one that gets them a good result right away and it doesn't require you a lot of work, because you'll be able to sell them other services, okay? You'll be able to upsell them other things or get them to give you referrals, right? Just like I was able to get initially, which allowed me to literally not spend any money or time on marketing. Okay, so this one is very, very important. There are a couple different ones, right? You can do missed calls with an AI agent that will literally answer the phone and book appointments in. We have that set up and connected at a ton of gyms. You can also do lead nurturing from ads that are generating leads for the business, website leads that are coming in for the business. Missed call text back could kind of be considered the same thing here. And then you can also do reactivation campaigns where you do an automated blast campaign to their prospect list and active member list to drive those people back through the door so that they have the opportunity to make them a customer again. So these are all really, really good services, but I'd really make sure the first one you provide is one that gets them a great result, because it's going to open up the door for a lot of additional opportunities. Okay, so that is step number 3. Step number 4, what you're gonna wanna do is just scrape 1,000 leads for your market that you're trying to penetrate. So let's say, for example, it's gyms. What you're gonna wanna do is just go to YouTube and watch either one of these 2 videos. They are my videos on how to really scrape leads for free, and it's very, very easy to do. So I'd recommend you check out one of those 2 videos because it will break it down. I'm not gonna go through it right now because we don't need to do that, but just check it out, follow the steps and build up 1,000 leads. That will be good enough. And then from there, you're gonna have a bunch of opportunities that you can then start reaching out to. So step number 5 is cold outbound. Okay, so what you're gonna wanna do with this is, what we did initially starting out was we were cold DMing people on Facebook, which allowed us to get our first 3 clients. And then we did cold email. And then we actively do cold email, we actively do cold calling, we actively run paid ads. Okay, so a lot of people talk about, LinkedIn outreach, Instagram outreach, but for my situation, not that they don't work, for my situation, what we do is ads on Facebook and Instagram. We run cold calls. So we have a team of people that are cold calling and following up with leads. And then we also do emails. So we have a newsletter and we do cold emails. Okay. But what I would recommend if I were getting started is I would just cold call, because we have a script that's working right now that's crushing it, and you can retrofit this to your niche if you're not in the gym niche and use it. And it's gonna work as long as you put the work in to make it work. All right, I got a scratch. So what you're gonna wanna do with this is call at least 10 times and double dial each of them on the first attempt. So what I mean by that is call twice. If they don't answer the first time, call again. And then make sure that you're doing this in the morning and the afternoon. Reason why I say this is Harvard did a business study back in 2018, and what it really found was that speed to lead is extremely important. So that the time between you following up with a lead and them opting in, that's irrelevant as far as this is concerned. But what they found was the peak hours that people actually answer their phones are in the afternoon between 4 to 6 in the afternoon for whatever time zone you're calling people in, and then early in the morning around like 7. Okay, so you wanna make sure that you're hitting these people, especially in the afternoon, but also in the morning if possible to get the best result. And then here's the script. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play you guys an example here real quick to just show you that this is working in real time. It's an example of one of my team members literally calling someone, running this script right here that you can again take and apply. But let me play it for you guys so that you guys know that this actually works right now. Hello. What is it, Gary? Yep, it is.
Gary, nice to meet you today. This is Joshua from Gym Members Now. How you doing today?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Yes, doing good. Actually, Gary, I'm here because we're an AI-based gym optimization company that directly owns 127 clubs. And I'm calling you today because we run some tech ads in your area and we found a strong demand for your services if you leverage our new Check GPT-4 plugin. Would you be available for a 30-minute Zoom call Monday, or would Tuesday was better for you?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me check my schedule for Monday.
Okay, so there you go. So you can see he ended up booking that appointment. He spoke with this person for another 9 minutes, doing some more qualifications. But the most important thing when it comes to cold calling is gonna be the opener. Okay, so just like an ad, the offer is extremely important. This is no different. So this is the offer, right? We ran some test ads in your area. We found a strong demand for your services if you leverage our new ChatGPT-4 plugin. Now, if they ask you what's the ChatGPT-4 plugin, you can go into that with how it helps them get reviews and referrals, right? If that's what you're providing. But ChatGPT-4 plugin is a very, it's a big umbrella term that you can use to really represent any type of automated AI-driven service, okay? But what you're gonna wanna do with this is just use your cell phone, or you can use Alloware or Phone Burner. We use Alloware, but what that's gonna allow you to do is have a power dialer, which enables you to call with local numbers. So, you know, if you're in Kentucky and you're calling someone in California, it will wrap the number that you're calling them with their local number so that you get a higher pickup rate. Okay, so Alloware can be pretty expensive. I think we pay about $500 to $700 a month for it, but it allows you to rip out calls like crazy, right? Like I have people on my team that will make over 400 calls a day because they've got the power dialer set up and we've got the list fed into it that you can get from step 4. But this is very, very important because this is gonna allow you to get right to the horse's mouth and it works. Side note, when it comes to cold calling, to just tell you guys another story about how powerful it can be. Back in 2022, in 2022 of March, we basically restarted. So I pretty much restarted, literally made a new entity, but offering kind of the same stuff. And for why we did that, I could get into a different video, but we literally restarted. And what we ended up doing is my partner, he built out a cold call team. It was pretty much one person, one cold caller, and then me handling sales. And in between March of 22 to December, January of 2023, this is literally a new entity. We didn't take any old clients from our original entity and put them on this one. It was a brand new entity. And between then and there, I honestly don't know how many people I signed up, but we didn't have any other sales rep except for one guy that I brought on at the end of November. He started selling in December. I think he signed up like 16 people in December. But between March to December, I must have signed up over 400 people on my own. Me taking all the appointments. It was insane. I was literally doing 30-minute appointments, getting double booked, and closing people like a fucking animal, okay? And what ended up happening in January of 2023, we did over $260,000. So literally in 9 months, you know, the first 9 months in 2019, we went from 0 to 70K a month, but we restarted with a new entity in 2022 of March. And in that 9 months with basically one cold caller, basically one sales rep, except for at the end of November and December, built a business that did 260K in January with like 60% margins. I think we did over like 150K that month in profit. So that goes to show you guys how powerful cold calling can be. And again, the reason why that was so effective, if we look at step number 2, it's because I was in a niche where these people had multiple gems, right? We were cold calling people that sometimes I'd sign up somebody that had 4 gems, right? I think one month I signed up like 37 or 38 gyms, but I didn't actually sign up 37 or 38 people. I might have closed like 22 people, but between those 22 people, I was able to get 37 new clients running our services. Okay, so cold calling works. There's no question about it. You just need to put the time in, put the work in, and I've already done the hard work of figuring out the hook that gets people to actually want to book a call. Just follow this, and then from there, if you're new to this and you're not really sure, just book the appointment, get it booked, and then call and confirm the day of the appointment. And if they don't confirm, just shoot them a text saying, hey, finalizing my calendar for the day. Just shoot me a thumbs up if you're good to go today at 2 o'clock Eastern. That's all you need to send. You could also send it the night before via text, just saying, hey, finalizing my calendar. Just want to make sure you're good to go tomorrow at 2 Eastern. Just shoot me a thumbs up or ready to rock if you are. That works really, really well, okay? You don't need to make it any more complicated than that. It works, okay? So again, just breaking this down with a nice visual, make the cold call, use the script, schedule a Zoom. That's who you want to use. You can use either your phone or Allo or Phone Burner. There's a lot of different ones out there. We just use Alloware. And then from there, you can do a bunch of different outreach methods, right? You could do email like we did. You could be doing cold DMs. You could really be doing a bunch of different stuff. But if you're just getting started, or even if you're already going, right? You can just really pick one like cold calling or paid ads, which I'd truly recommend is cold calling and paid ads, to put all your time into those because they're super effective if you really put the time in to make them be effective. So that's what I would recommend. Now, step number 6, and real quick here on step number 5, one thing I forgot to mention is if you are doing these other outreach methods, let's say, for example, you don't have time to make cold calls. Let's say you're working a full-time job or maybe you're in college in class like I was, and you're trying to do it, but while you're busy, right? And you only can do DMs, let's say, for example. Just retrofit this hook to those outreach methods. So if you're cold DMing people on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, use something along the lines of this, okay? And try and book an appointment on the DMs or cold email because it should work, but it is a volume game. Do not forget that. It is a volume game. You need to put the work in. I literally signed up over 400 people. I don't know the exact number, but it was over 400 people between March to December. It was a crazy amount of work, absolutely insane. Some days I'd sign up like 5 people in a row if I was just on. But it's a lot of work. The cold calling is a lot of work. My business partner was busting his ass working with a guy. He wasn't making the cold calls, but he was managing him. And I was taking all the appointments, sometimes working 10, 12 hours a day. But that's what it takes, and it's totally possible. Okay, so step number 6 is gonna be obviously signing them up, bill them on the spot, and get the agreement signed on the spot. So this is very, very important, okay? So you wanna make sure that if you sign someone up, you sign them up. You know, don't let them tell you, yeah, that sounds good, look, send me the paperwork and yo, cool. Do not let them do that. I made this mistake when I was getting started out. If you don't have experience in sales or you don't have experience when it comes to virtual sales, do not let this happen. What you need to do is if someone gives you the verbal at the end after you close them with my script, which if you want it, just comment below, I'll be able to send it to you, or join my school group. But if you get them to say, yep, I'm ready to move forward, all you need to say from there is great. Next thing we're gonna do is process payment, sign the agreement, and then book your onboarding call. Sound good? They're like, no, you just need to send it to me. Nope, that's not how we do things. The way we do things is we go over the agreement, we sign off on it, process payment, and then we book the onboarding call. Does that sound good? Keep running that loop unless they're super, super against it. Obviously, if they're not sold, you need to sidestep it, isolate what their objection actually is and work through that to get them resold. But if you can tell they're good to go on Zoom, you should be able to tell based off their body language or tonality. Get them to sign the agreement then and there, and then get them to pay then and there. What I would recommend, obviously, get this. I've taken over 5,000 sales calls. I've been literally handling the sales for the past 6 years. I've been pretty much the only sales rep in our business, and this has been my main focus. and I've been constantly refining it to make it be very, very effective. And over the last 5 months, I've been closing over 50% of the people I pitch, and I've been closing over 38% of the people that I just hop on a call with. Sometimes I hop on a call with people who are not a fit, and that 38% includes them, right? People who are just, they don't even have a Google My Business page, right? So make sure that you get that, because yeah, the amount of time that has gone into developing it and refining it is insane, and it's made me millions of dollars. So I'd recommend you don't wing it. If you want to, be my guest, try and figure it out on your own, or just take my script and absolutely destroy people and sign up a ton of people. It's a lot of fun when you're good at sales. So I'd recommend getting it. A lot of time's gone into it. Now, for processing payments, what you're gonna wanna do is use Sense or Stripe. I'm sure you're probably familiar with Stripe. We use Sense via deposit. That's what I showed you guys there at the start of the video. What Sense allows you to do is it charges the clients the transaction fees. So what that means is if you charge somebody, let's say $1,000 for a service, Sense is going to charge them that additional fee, the transaction fee on top of the $1,000 payment, instead of it getting taken out of your cut. Okay, so what Stripe does is they take it out of yours, and I think it's 2.6% to 3%. So if you charge someone $1,000, they're gonna take 30 bucks or 26 bucks. If you charge them $100,000, they're gonna take 3 grand. If you charge them $1 million, they're gonna take 30 grand, okay? I use Stripe. I ran over $7 million through Stripe, and now you do the math on that, right? 2.6% or 3% to just make it easy would be, I mean, that's $210,000, right? Which sucks, because I'm never gonna get that money, it's gone. But we ended up switching over to Sense and Deposit back in April of last year, in 2024. And since then, we've been saving money. So I'd recommend it. The only reason why people don't use Sense or Deposit, it's not as well known. It's a little bit clunkier. Stripe's really, really easy. So it's a little bit more user-friendly, but I would definitely recommend just going with Deposit through Sense, because it's gonna charge those people those transaction fees. You just need to make sure in your agreement that you also include surcharges, right? Those transaction fees, so that, and obviously when you sign them out, let them know that, but if you ever have somebody that issues a dispute or tries to do a chargeback, you have that in there, right? And then what I'd recommend doing is using HelloSign. It's now called Dropbox Sign for agreements. And then you could also use DocuSign. So DocuSign is kind of like the Stripe when it comes to an agreement software. The cool thing about HelloSign, which is now called Dropbox Sign, is you can do, let's say you sign up for an account, it's not going to charge you. You can get a free account, and the first, I think up to 5, you don't have to pay. So I've been using it. We have a company DocuSign, but every now and then if I just have to get a random agreement out, maybe like for something separate, I'll just use HelloSign or Dropbox Sign, because even if you hit the number before it asks you to pay, all you have to do is make a new email or use a different email to set up a new account. So you essentially don't have to pay if you don't want to. All right, so very important here, make sure you use this and make it fit to your offer, your market, and then just pick one of these. I'd highly recommend doing not DocuSign, Dropbox Sign or HelloSign, because it's free. And then obviously I'd recommend Sense, but be my guest if you want to make less money, use Stripe. And then last but not least, which is very, very important, is get them a great result in the first 30 days, right? Remember how I said for the referrals and review service, I set them up on a 12-month program where if they don't want to continue up to the first 30 days, they don't have to. Now, side note, I only do it for that service because it gets people incredible results and everyone, for the most part, converts over. But regardless of what you're doing, you obviously want to get these people an amazing result. And if you do, what it's going to allow you to do is get referrals. So it's going to allow you to do like what I've done, which is get people to give you customers, right? They're going to be able to tell their friends. They're going to be able to tell their peers about what you were able to do with them and the result you're able to get them, and push you to other people. In addition to that, you can ask for Google reviews, which is huge. If you get a Google My Business page, We have over 100 Google reviews, my business does, which is awesome social proof. And you definitely want to get these. And then from there, you want to upsell them into other services. Okay, if you just sell them on reviews or referrals, you want to then sell them on other services, because at this point, they trust you. They know you. They like you, right? At this point, they're wanting to know what's next, right? Can you do marketing for them? Can you consult them? Can you provide them with other AI services, right? And that's what we do, is we hit them with everything, right? And we get people to be paying us thousands of dollars a month because of it. But what I found is, if you do this service that's so easy to provide, that gets people an incredible result, it really opens up the door for them. Because if you try to go to somebody, let's say a gym owner, and you try and sell them traditional paid advertising service, you're gonna have to be very good at sales. I'll just say that. You're gonna have to be very good at sales to charge a high premium rate. What's a lot easier to do is just totally flip the script, hit them with this if there's a big need for it, and tell them, hey, we don't need to worry about the ads right now. We need to get your Google My Business and your Google storefront looking a lot better. Because if you start running ads, people are gonna look you up on Google. If you don't have a lot of reviews, that's gonna impact the return on your investment. So first, unlike that other marketing agency you worked with, why don't we address that, get your reviews looking good, get you referrals without spending any money on marketing, because it doesn't require money to be spent on paid ads. And then we can talk about if you'd be a good fit for what we do when it comes to paid ads. That's gonna open up the door for you to get reviews on Google for your own business, referrals from their friends and peers, and then obviously sell them more services and retain them as a customer. So these are the 7 steps. Most important here, like I told you guys, I'm gonna provide you guys with a very valuable resource. It is my school group, which has a ton of stuff in there that my partner and I have put that will show you exactly how to build a successful AI automation agency and really eliminate all of the guesswork. So if that's what you're trying to do and you like this, you thought this was valuable, these 7 steps that I'd highly encourage you to follow if you're trying to have success, go join our school group, get in there, devour the information, and then take action. Just take action, go hard, and make it happen, because those 2 stories, like I said, literally 0 to 70K a month in 9 months, literally no experience at the time. I had no clue what I was doing, right? I just went into the right market, provided the right service. And then obviously in 2022, went from 0 to over $260,000 in 1 month, in 9 months, just through cold calling. Okay, so make sure you join that school group. It's gonna have a ton of stuff that will help you out. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.